Team Keep It Clean. Oh man, my apologies because today I'm recording this on June 10th at 9:11 a.m. It is the first official day of the school year being over. Oh man, that's y'all don't know how happy I am about that. But anyway, I wanted to put the podcast out yesterday, but yesterday was just crazy busy from start till finish. It was just an extremely crazy day. And I did not get to get everything done that I wanted to get done. But it was just wild. But anyway, I appreciate y'all for not complaining. Nobody was like, oh man, nope, none of that. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Because as y'all all know, in your personal experience, life happens. But anyway, in this episode of the podcast, we got a lot to talk about. And yeah, first, before we get into it, let's shout out our sponsor. Shout out to Manscaped. You want to use Manscaped? You want to get anything from Manscaped? You use code KeepItClean, all one word. Hit them up. Hit them up. Go browse. Go look at the website, manscaped.com. See if there's anything on there that you like, anything on there that you need, and use code KeepItClean to get that fat discount. Like 20% off, that's a big discount. And free shipping too, that's a big discount. I've told y'all this before, but you know when you're going to buy something, especially you're going to order online, and we have all become bigger online shoppers through that whole pandemic. You know that with online shopping, that and it happened to me. Still happens to me all the time. Like you'll hear about a deal with something, and you'll be like, I like this. I'm gonna buy this, and then you'll get to the checkout and you'll be like, oh man, you look at the taxes and the shipping costs and all that, and then you're like, never mind, I'm straight, I'm good off of that. But if you have free shipping and you have 20% off, then it's a double whammy. So y'all go to manscaped.com and let them take care of you, man. And also, again, they got cologne. I love the cologne, so shout out to them. Now, everybody, we all, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, we all need a break. We all need a break. Each and every one of us need a break. Vacation, time off, all of that. And that's exactly what me and my wife and Carter, what we did last weekend. And loved it. Loved it. It was so, I loved it. It was just great timing, and we needed it. It was the best, man. And the craziest part about it was that it wasn't even supposed to happen the way that it went down. So, let me tell you, first off, it started off, we were supposed to go to Savannah, Georgia, because it's a couple that we know. Our family is a husband and wife, and they got 3 kids. Their kids love Carter. Carter loved their kids. We love their kids. We love them. So we were going to go to Savannah, Georgia with them. So what we were going to do first, on Tuesday. On Tuesday and Wednesday, we were going to be, because the drive is like, to get to Savannah is like 6.5 hours, something like that. So yeah, from Miami to Savannah, Georgia is like 6.5, maybe even 7 hours. So I ain't feel like doing all that. I ain't trying to be on the road for a whole day. No. So what we were going to do, we were going to, because they were going to be getting to Savannah on Thursday. What we were going to do was going to go to Orlando for Tuesday and Wednesday and stay there. So that'll break up the drive. That's from Miami to Orlando, it's like 3.5 hours. So we're going to go there to Orlando on Tuesday, stay there for Tuesday and Wednesday, then on Thursday morning, finish the rest of the drive, and it'd be like only 3 hours left. Because I ain't want to be in the car for that long. My wife wouldn't want to be in the car for that long. Carter definitely wouldn't want to be in the car for that long. In one trip, oof, yikes. Ugh, that would be, so we were going to do that. So it's Monday. Monday was a holiday. I think it was Memorial Day. So my wife was off. Carter was off for school, chilling and stuff. And then so Tuesday rolls around. Oh, actually, no, Monday night. Late Monday night, or maybe super early Tuesday morning. I'm in the bed laying down. I feel Carter and that boy is hot. He is hot. Like, he had a fever. And at first I wasn't sure, but I'm like, man, is he just sweating because he's using my blanket? Because the blanket that I sleep with is like really, really warm. It's like a wool blanket. It's super warm, but I love it. My wife's mom, she actually gave it to me a long time ago, and I love it. And if we, like, even when we go to like a hotel or something, I can't sleep the same without that blanket. I don't bring that blanket anywhere. I don't bring it to no hotel, nothing, but I can't sleep the same without it. Like, I need to be like really, really warm when I go to sleep. But anyway, I was like, maybe because he's sleeping under my blanket, maybe that's why he's so, nope. I thought that was it. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna just chill, whatever. We'll see how it is in the morning. So morning coat rolls around, still hot. This dude is hot. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Here we go. And so he's hot, and we take his temperature. His temperature is like 90, I think like 99. It never got past 100. It never even got to 100. But it was always like 98, 99, something. But we could feel he would be hot. He'd be sweating, he'd be hot, and all that. So, and then his eyes, and he was like, oh, he was like achy a little bit. So my wife made 2 appointments for him. She made 1 appointment for the doctor, so they could just check him out or whatever. And again, remember, this is on Tuesday. This is on Tuesday. So, and then she made another appointment for him to get the COVID test. So, on Wednesday, took him to get the COVID test, which came back negative, by the way. But Wednesday he also had his doctor's appointment. But again, we were supposed to, if we still go back to Tuesday, we were supposed to leave on Tuesday night. After my wife got off work, we were supposed to leave, drive up to Orlando. So make that 3.5 hour drive from Miami to Orlando. We were supposed to do that on Tuesday. But I was like, no. Then we were like, no, we ain't not doing that. Because he got his fever. So no, we ain't doing that. We ain't gonna have him. No, we got to see what's going on with this first. But I called I called the hotel, reached out to them, and they were just amazing. I told them the situation. I said, hey, we supposed to go there today, supposed to check in today, but my son has a fever. They said, no problem, no problem. There ain't no fees, no cancellation fees. You get everything back. You ain't got to worry about nothing. So I'm like, whoa, okay, I appreciate that. And and I told y'all about this in the last podcast. It just made me love them that much more. So I really appreciated that a lot. Like, that really made me happy. That they will just, I really, really appreciated that. But then we still had one more reservation for the hotel in Savannah, Georgia for Thursday. Because remember, again, we're supposed to go to Orlando on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then on Thursday morning, we were going to drive to Savannah and be in a hotel then. So we still had the Savannah reservation. So I was like, okay, cool. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We ain't going to rush anything, but we'll see how it goes. So Wednesday came. He still had his fever. And he had his doctor's appointment and a COVID test. Because, again, so we took the COVID test, negative. The doctor's appointment, they said she checked for it to be strep throat. Said, nope, it's not that. She checked for it to, she was like, if I call you, at the end of the appointment, she was like, if I call you, then it's either strep throat or something else that she checked for too. But if I don't call you, you ain't got to worry about anything. And she said it'll just pass. She didn't call us, so that was good. So she said it could just be like a little virus going around and stuff. She said since it's getting toward the end of the pandemic, that a lot of the stuff and the sicknesses and viruses and whatever that we saw before, then a lot of those are just reintroducing themselves again. It's like, okay, cool, no problem. So Wednesday passed, and on Thursday, he felt a lot better. But throughout the entire time, and I remember this is something that my mom had like brought up a long time ago, like when Carter was still like a baby. Whenever he would get sick, she would ask if he still had his appetite. I'll never forget that. She'd say, oh, does he still have his appetite? And there was only, I think, one time when he was sick. No, twice. Because I remember one time, a couple years ago, he had the flu. Oh, man, that was the worst. When he had the flu, and no, even a time before that when we were in Chicago, and this dude, he had a nasty stomach bug, man. And this was when he was like, I want to say maybe like 2 or maybe 3. But we went to Chicago and he had a stomach bug. He was just like, even on the plane to Chicago, he had diarrhea. This is on the plane, so we didn't changing his diapers. His diaper just keep getting filled up, and it was just bad. Did he throw up? I think he did, but he had a stomach bug, and it was so bad. We didn't know what was going on. But all of my wife's family up there, they all, like, it's like 50 million of them, and they all 50 million of them are in the healthcare field. So we were at her dad's house, and one of her aunts was over there, and she was like, hey, he needs to have a like a popsicle or something, because he needs to stay hydrated. And the kids will like that because it's a popsicle. It's almost like them eating candy or something. So that'll keep him hydrated, and that'll help him out a lot. She was like, he can eat like ice and stuff. He needs to stay hydrated. So did that, and did end up going away. And then he started getting back to his normal self. Oh man, that was the worst. That had to be the worst. And it's the worst feeling as like a parent when your child is sick and you feel like you can't do anything. Like, and they just gotta like get through it. It sucks. But anyway, so that was years ago. But back to last week. So Wednesday came around again, and we did the COVID test and went to the doctor's appointment. And doctor, she checked for everything, and she told us what the deal was. She said it'll pass in like maybe 4 or 5 days. It ain't nothing long term, anything like that. It's just a little sickness. And I was like, okay, cool. So again, Thursday rolled around, and he was a lot better. But through that whole process, back to my point with what I was saying about my mom, is that he never lost his appetite. When he had a fever, when the fever went down, he never lost his appetite throughout. So that was always a good thing. And there was even a time where I'm like, man, like, relax. Like, he's like watching TV, and we told him, hey, all right, Carter, you gonna watch TV, that's fine, just relax. Just want you to take it easy, relax. So I leave the room for a little bit. He's watching TV, he's jumping around, jumping up and down. Like, Carter, just chill out, man. You still got still got a little bit of a fever or something, but it wasn't too bad. But anyway, so Thursday came, he was better. Friday and Thursday night, like, it was pretty much gone. The fever was pretty much gone. But then Friday, it was like, no. But on Wednesday, after the doctor's appointment, we were supposed to check into the hotel on Thursday afternoon or whatever. But I was like, no, we're not gonna do it. So I canceled that on Wednesday night. So like, okay, well, I guess Savannah trip is out the window. We'll have to go there another time. Told the family about it. They were a little upset, not upset, but like disappointed, like, because we all wanted to go together, because they've been there a couple times before and they love it, and they wanted to show us around there, show us some different food spots there and all and whatnot. It was gonna be fun. So we had to do that another time. But anyway, we did that, and so we canceled the trip. I was like, okay, cool. So then Friday rolled around, and again, like I said, Thursday night he was pretty much back, like no fever, he was straight. But then Friday rolled around, and he was like definitely good to go. Oh, but now I gotta go back again. My wife, she took off Thursday and Friday, because again, we were supposed to be in Savannah. She was still gonna work on Tuesday and Wednesday, because Tuesday she was going to work the whole day, then we were going to drive up, and then Wednesday she was going to work from the hotel while we were up there in Orlando. But again, since we canceled that, she canceled her Thursday off, so she ended up going to work on Thursday, because she's like, hey, ain't no point of taking it off if we just going to be here, even though it could still be a point, because, you know, when you off from work, like you off from work, that's a beautiful feeling. But anyway, she kept her Friday off. So she kept her Friday off, and Friday morning, I think early on in the morning, she had went to the gym to go like do Zumba. She loved doing Zumba. Even used to teach Zumba too. But anyway, Friday morning she went to the gym to do Zumba. Carter, he woke up, and he was like in kind of like a mood, like he woke up kind of like crying a little bit. Because he was asleep. I came to the office to record a video. I forgot which video it was. But I heard like this like crying in the background. And I thought it was a neighbor. I'm like, Carter don't be waking up crying, man. And I'm like, nah, that ain't him. Then I heard it again. I was like, oh man, the neighbor's kid is just really loud. Wow, how can I hear it in here? Then I heard it again. And I was like, hold up, so I stopped recording the video. Then I went to go check on him. It was him. I'm like, Carter, what's wrong, man? And he was like, oh, I thought that I was alone. And I'm like, no, Carter, you're never alone, man. So I was like, at that point, I was like, Carter, I said, man, I feel like Carter needed a break. I just felt like he needed a change of scenery for a little bit. He needed just something different. So that was right then when I decided, I didn't know where we were going to go, but I was like, hey, we about to go somewhere. We about to go somewhere and just take a break from all of this. Because it's been a rough week for him. It's been a rough week for just all of us. It's just been a crazy week, especially just having his situation. But now that he's better, he's 100%, I'm like, you know what, let's do something. Especially because we had been planning this for a little while. And we usually never plan visits. I mean, not visits, sorry, I'm reading about Todd Gurley and talking at the same time. I can't read and talk at the same time. But we usually never plan vacations ahead of time, ever. If we going on vacation, it's usually planned like at the last minute. But again, that's why it's so crazy. Like, man, we actually planned a vacation this time, planned it weeks ahead, and then we got to cancel it. But anyway, I was like, nah. I said we got to do something because Carter was looking forward to it like crazy. He remember, because he got a good, especially when it comes to vacation. Oh, he got a good memory. When it comes to listening, sometimes, oh, he'll forget to listen. But when it comes to vacation, going on vacation, oh yeah, I remember that all day. Because he was looking forward to it. We were looking forward to it. I was like, all right, you know, we'll do something. Don't know where we're going to go, but we'll do something. So then I started packing. I started packing Carter's clothes. My wife, actually, she had a lot of her bag already packed because even though we had canceled the vacation from when we were supposed to leave on Tuesday night, we had canceled that. And then we had canceled the Savannah too. Even though it was canceled, that bag was still sitting in that same spot on the floor. And it was packed, ready to go. Well, not ready all the way to go, but mostly packed. So I said, you know what, yeah. I said, let me pack Carter's stuff. So I packed his stuff. And then she got home from the gym. She was like, whoa. What's going on? And I was like, I said nothing. Just vibing. She's like, hold on, no, you packing clothes. What are you trying to do? I said, I don't know. I ain't got no plans. I'm just chilling. And she's like, wait a minute, should I pack too? I said, well, yeah. So then she packed, and she's like, where we gonna go? And I really hadn't had a clue. So she, I said, do you got anywhere you want to go? And so I asked Carter too, and Carter, he's just like, I want to go to a hotel, But I asked if where she wanted to go. She's like, oh, we've been wanting to go. She had been wanting to go to Marco Island for a while. And I was like, okay, well, let's do it. Let's go. So it's funny because Carter, I told him we're gonna go there for like two nights. And Carter was like, oh, can we go to 2 different hotels? And I was like, all right, cool, no problem. Because Carter likes hotel hopping, and it is fun to do that sometimes, because you're just seeing different hotels or whatnot. So I was like, all right, cool, we could do that. But when I told him that, I forgot to book it. So a little bit before we were about to leave, I was looking at the hotel, and I was actually uploading a video too that I had been working on. But for some strange reason, YouTube wanted to act up bad that day. So I had to take some extra time to upload the video. I had to do this whole little rig thing, and just anyway, that's beside the point. I was looking at the hotels, and I saw one hotel that was available for 2 nights, but the other hotel that I wanted to book for the first night, it wasn't available anymore. So I'm like, okay, I guess we just got to stay at this hotel for 2 nights. But I didn't tell my wife. I didn't tell her. And I did tell her though that the first hotel, I told her that one was completely booked. So I was like, let's just go. But I had booked the second hotel, but I booked that for 2 nights. So I booked it, And so we driving up there, but she doesn't know I booked it again, remember. So we driving up there, and we get super close to the island, to Marco Island. We in like Naples, Florida is like 30 minutes away from Marco Island. So we driving, and I'm like, man, I'm acting like I'm looking for hotels and stuff. I'm like, man, where we gonna stay at? So she's getting upset. She's getting like really upset. And so I even, and this what really got it too. I called the hotel that was completely booked. She was like, well, why don't you call? And I was like, maybe if I call it or something, or maybe if I show face, then maybe they'll find a room for us. So I called them, and they were like, oh no, we're completely booked. And I was thinking in the back of my head, like, oh, this is perfect, because she's gonna get even more upset and really think that we don't have a place to stay. So it was just great, because she was getting upset. And I'm like, man. I said, don't worry. I said, we gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. So she's sitting there upset, just bothered, angry, all that good stuff. So I'm like, this is good. This is working. So we're driving, and we in Marco Island now. And I'm reading off all these different hotels that we passing, and she just looking at me, she just upset, she mad. I'm laughing, man. And then we get to the hotel that we were gonna stay at, and cause she sees the spa. She's like, oh, that's the spot for that one hotel. And I was like, oh, really? Cool. So then when we get to the entrance of the hotel, I end up pulling in there. And then the guy comes up to the car. He was like, oh, do you have a reservation with us? I'm like, yeah, we do. And she's like, oh, she's like smiling and like angry at the same time. She's like, oh, you're so annoying. And she was laughing because she was super happy, because that's the hotel that she wanted to stay at a lot more than the other hotel anyway. So she was like, she was super happy. It's always fun to mess with her though. But anyway, we get there. Oh man, the hotel, it's right on the beach. They had a pool there. It's right on the beach. It was so nice, man. But it was just, and I was telling my wife while we were driving, like, man, just the drive alone, I just appreciated the drive itself on Alligator Alley, just riding, and just, it was so nice, man. Because it was just like, just getting away, just taking that time off, taking that time away from everything. It's the best, man. It is the best. Because you need that. You need it. And the vacation hadn't even started yet. We were just driving, and I was getting so happy. But anyway, we and caught man, this dude Carter, boy, that is one thing he loves to do. Man, this dude loves hotels. Loves them. Even just yesterday, because again, yesterday was his last day of school. Yesterday, the teacher asked him, she's like, oh, Carter, what are you gonna do for your summer break? He said, oh, I want to go to a lot of hotels and eat at a lot of restaurants. That's what he loves to do. Those are two of his favorite things to do. Go to hotels and eat at a bunch of different restaurants. So anyway, we got there, we checked in and stuff. It was great, man. Very nice place. Just loved it. Marco Island, if any of y'all ever come to Florida, but no, we obviously talk about Miami and stuff too, but if you ever come to Florida and you get an opportunity to go to Marco Island, please do. Please. It is so nice. It is so nice. I don't even care for the beach like that. And my goal, I failed at one of my goals for that weekend, because I wanted to learn how to swim. I really did, but I tried. I tried in the kiddie part of the pool. I tried at the beach, but it just wasn't working itself out. So we're gonna get it one day. But anyway, I don't even care for the beach like that. But I love this place. It was really nice, man. So if you ever get a chance to come down to Florida, South Florida, and go to Marco Island, please do. It'll be worth it. I promise you. Please do. Please do. But anyway, the stay was really nice. It was just great, man. It was just a vibe. Not looking at the phone too much. Not even hardly working. All the videos that I had dropped on that Friday and Saturday, they had already been videos that had been already done for a little minute. So just had them in the chamber ready to go. And the only time I worked though was when Julio Jones got traded. It's funny because we were actually checked out of the hotel. And again, a lot of stuff that was supposed to happen, the way that stuff was supposed to happen that weekend, it didn't, but it ended up working out in the long run. Because again, we weren't even supposed to be at this hotel. We were supposed to be in Orlando, then Savannah. But that obviously didn't work out because Carter had the fever. But it worked out in the long run because we went to this place and it is just great. And then we were supposed to leave the hotel because checkout is at 11. So we were supposed to leave, get on the road, go over to wherever the next destination for that day is, and then we were going to go home. But Carter was like, oh no, he was like, can we eat at one more restaurant here? Can we go get some breakfast here? I said, okay, cool, no problem. So we go get breakfast, and again, we were supposed to be on the road at this time, but since we got breakfast, we weren't on the road, and then the Julio Jones news breaks. I'm like, okay, cool. So I just stepped out for a little minute. I'm like, man, this is what we've all been waiting for the longest, with this Julio Jones thing. It finally dropped. So I stepped out for a minute, did the video real quick, and then uploaded it, did the thumbnail and all that, and then it just worked itself out, man. It just worked itself out. So it was just great. The hotel was I give it 20 stars out of 10. Well, I know it's a 5-star rating. 20 stars out of 5 stars. It was great. Location perfect. Hotel great. Service great. The food was good. Drinks good. Just the vibe, man. Best. Loved it. Now at the hotel, it's very nice because they got a pool. They got a pool there, but the beach is like, it's right there too. The hotel's right on the beach. So at the beach, we went there. Couple of things. Like one, we had ordered food, and we took that food to the beach. We ate some of the food at the this part wasn't even like a restaurant. It was just like a bar. So we took the food from the bar. It's an outside bar. So we took the food from the bar to the beach, ate some of the food at the beach. Then we didn't finish it all. Like Carter still had his chicken tenders and some fries that he had left, but he wanted to go in the water at the beach because Carter loves the beach. So we went there, and while we were on the beach, we were all in the water and stuff, and we look back, we see all these birds by the food, and these like some smart birds. These are advanced birds, man. These are the birds that's in those honors classes. So these birds, they take their beaks and they open Carter's his thing of food, and they all come flying at it. All come grabbing chicken tenders and stuff. They even grabbed my wife's food. I'm the only one that finished my food. I finished it, but they hadn't finished their food, but they were grabbing their food. She had like these tuna wraps, they grabbing that, and they grabbing Carter chicken tenders and fries. I'm like, oh man, there they go, that's it. So then with the food that was left, shout out to my guy, Cam. My guy Cam, just now, because he had asked me yesterday, he said, oh, no podcast today? And I told him today it was just crazy, but just now he responded to me while I'm recording the podcast, man. Let me tweet him back right now, man. I'm literally in the middle of recording it. So you'll hear about this part when you listen. That's crazy, man. Timing is everything. We always say that, man. Timing is everything. But anyway, the birds, after they start grabbing the food, I go over and grab what's left of the food. But then I just start throwing it up to them, cause I'm like, we ain't about to eat this food no more. So yeah, we definitely ain't eating this food no more. So I just start tossing it up to them, and they like catching it and stuff. It was so cool, man. I feel like I was like one with the birds, one with the animals. But anyway, they did that, and there was somebody. You like any parent will know, 'cause I'm sure all parents have experienced this, when you take your kids to somewhere that has water, but you don't have a bathing suit. So sometimes you'll be like, okay, well, if the kid got like just underwear on or something, you just put them in the underwear and let them play in the water. So, but there was this one mom. She had 2 kids, and so they walk to the beach, and they get the little beach chair. I forgot what those are called, but she gets a beach chair under the umbrella. So the kids walk over to the water, but they don't get in yet because they still got their clothes on. So then they walk back over to their chairs, and then she starts undressing them. And I'm like, okay, they about to get in the water because they're like they were close to us. So then she has them both get butt naked. And I'm like, what? Like you could at least left them in their drawers, man. But she has them both get butt naked. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I don't think this is that kind of beach for that. And these other families that are next to us, they look into that. They're like, whoa, what's going on? And I'm thinking, well, maybe my wife was like, maybe she's from somewhere different or something like that. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe, but still, man. We don't need to see them kids' cheeks, man. We gotta keep it clean. Don't keep it out. So then they end up just going to the beach butt naked. But the mom had her clothes on, but the kids were just butt naked. So I'm like, oh, what? Okay. So then she ended up finally putting some clothes on him and then taking him back to the beach. That was just a different experience. So I was just like, oh boy, okay, well, keep that moving. But anyway, no, the beach was just really nice. It was really nice. It was chill. It was a vibe, man. It was a vibe. Just loved it. Like nothing bad to say about it at all. Just loved it. They even had this like at a hotel, they even had this little arcade and stuff. They had this arcade restaurant. It's like a Dave and Buster's. That's the perfect way to describe it. It's like a Dave and Buster's. It wasn't Dave and Buster's though, but where they had the games and stuff, and then you could obviously eat there too. They were playing Friday on the TV. I was surprised too. I'm like, whoa, they playing Friday here? I can't believe it. But yeah, it was great, man. It was just amazing. And yeah, man, the whole setup, the whole vibe, and all, just everything, man. Everything. Now, at this point of the podcast, I had actually stepped out and took maybe a 2-3 hour break in the middle of the podcast because I started. This is why I gotta stick to one thing and finish it before I start something else. Now, I always tell Carter this too, because you know how Twitter, you know how all these different social media things, they all copy off of each other. So you remember when the whole Clubhouse thing came out? I don't even know if that's still a thing, but Twitter took something from Clubhouse, where they took stories from like Instagram and Snapchat and all that. Well, no, they took stories from Snapchat because Snapchat already was just stories. So Instagram took that, they implemented it. Then Twitter took that and they called it Fleets. But then Twitter also took from Clubhouse and they started Twitter Spaces, where you can just open up to where you could just talk to people and about whatever, just like Clubhouse. But anyway, I was on that from Raven's Twitter, and we were talking for about over 2 hours, man. And the time just literally flew, because I mean, y'all know we could talk Ravens like literally forever. But anyway, so that was our stay in Marco Island. And like I said earlier, man, if you ever get a chance to go, please go. You will not regret it at all. You will not regret it. I promise you. Promise you. Especially if you love the beach. Like for beach lovers, that's the perfect place. The people there were so nice. I even went to the bank. Because I don't like carry cash, but I wanted to get some cash so I could leave the tip for the people that clean the hotel rooms. So I went to the bank, and the teller's like super nice. The guy that was the guy that didn't work there or anything, but just a customer who's going in, he was super nice. I'm over here, I'm leaving, pulling off, I'm waving bye to him like I knew him or something. It's just a vibe there, man. The workers, like I said, the workers are so nice. We went to Publix to go pick up Gatorade and water and then just some snacks. I picked up M&M, peanut butter M&Ms and gummy Lifesavers. And Carter and my wife, they started eating them in the hotel room once we got back. I'm like, man, these were for the ride out. These were for the ride home. Y'all wasn't supposed to eat those yet. But anyway, when we went to Publix, or when I went to Publix, because both of them waited in the car, I went inside Publix and I went to go get the Gatorade and the water and stuff. So I go up, bring it to checkout. Oh, Publix is a grocery store, by the way. But I bring it to checkout. Checkout, pay for it, and the guy that bagged the groceries, like Publix down here, never, ever, 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 they never did it. But the guy that's bagging the groceries, he takes the bag and he wraps it like a certain way to where I can just put my hand through and boom, and it's there. Like they just went the extra mile. The people that the workers were in Marco Island, they went the extra mile. And that was huge. We talked about this on last week's episode of the podcast, that the experience makes such a difference. It makes a huge difference. So, wow, man, it was the best. I loved it. I can't say how much I loved it, man, because I loved it. It was well needed. It was just great. And then, so yeah, we stayed there for 2 nights. Then, like I told you, on the 3rd night, man, we were getting ready to leave. Well, the 3rd day, because it's 2 nights and you check out on checkout. So we were getting ready to go, and yeah, Carter said he wanted to eat there one more time, and we got there. We got breakfast. I forgot what the restaurant was called at the hotel, but it was really good. I got a waffle. The one thing about when you eat at the hotels, or even a lot of places, it's just gonna be expensive, man. Like, it was for my waffle, Belgian waffle, and it was a little bit crispy, but I ain't say nothing. I ain't complaining nothing. It's one of those restaurants where you could take pictures of the food. If you're one of the people that like taking pictures of the food, that's one of the restaurants for you, because the food setup is pretty, man. It looks very, very nice. I ordered a Belgian waffle. And it was cool. It could have been a little bit better, but it came out. It had like strawberries and raspberries and blueberries with it in this little cup. It came out. They give you individual ketchup bottles, like mini ketchup bottles. They give you individual syrup bottles, maple syrup. It's very, very pretty. My wife, for Carter, she ordered French toast. She wanted the French toast. Well, Carter ended up eating some of the French toast too. We got French toast, potatoes, eggs, and she got, what did she get? I forgot what she got. But anyway, like I said earlier, we were there eating breakfast. Then the Julio thing dropped, so I stepped out real quick. And y'all saw the video. We did it from the car, and then I worked on the thumbnail. I brought my laptop to the hotel, or not to the hotel, but inside the hotel, because we had already checked out, so we didn't have no room. But I brought the laptop to a bench in the hotel, made the thumbnail there real quick, and uploaded it and all that. The internet was pretty good there, by the way. But yeah, it was just it was fun. So we finished breakfast. Then we said our goodbyes to the hotel, and that was it. And then we hit it. And so that actually leads us to our next stop, because my wife, y'all know Carter's been looking for a dog for the longest. My wife, I did like a little bit of looking. I don't really look though. My wife, she does all the searching. Cause me, I was like, whatever. If we get a dog, cool. I know we were gonna get one eventually, but I wasn't like pressed about it. I wasn't worried about it or nothing. I'm like, when it happens, it happens. I don't care, no rush, whatever. Cause y'all know we went to go see the dog. We went to go see the dog Ravioli. That I forgot what kind of dog it was, but Carter just was like, he wasn't feeling it. He was playing with it, having all this fun with it. And now that I think back, I actually think that we could have gotten that dog and Carter would have been just fine. Because, yeah, well, look, sit back. Let me tell you the story of how it went. When we left the hotel, or actually, if I go back again, y'all know we've been looking for a dog for a while, for months. And my wife, she's always looking at all these different sites and looking. She's doing a bunch of investigating. I always tell her. I tell her when it's something that she really wants and really cares about, oh boy, she turn into a detective. She'll do all this research, she'll do all this extra work. But if it's something that she don't really care about, she ain't gonna do none of that. So she has really been putting in a lot of time looking for dogs and stuff, and she found a breeder in Naples, and the breeder. So we went there again because Naples is 30 minutes from Marco Island, like it's right around the corner. And the thing with that, again, remember this trip, we weren't even supposed to be on this trip. We were supposed to be up in Georgia. But it was like, okay, cool. Since we're here, we'll go to Naples. So we ended up going to Naples. We were like she got in contact with the breeder, told the breeder, all right, we were going to come today, because the breeder was like, oh, you can come between this time and that time. I'm like, all right, cool. So she was like, all right, we're coming today. So we got there. Oh, right when we got there, it was this big house, huge house. And you know those houses that, like those huge houses to where they have a gate, and to get to the house you gotta go through the gate and through their long lot, their long driveway. And anyway, huge house. So got there, and it started pouring raining like right when we pulled up. I'm like, oh boy, great, good timing. But anyway, get in there. He comes out, super nice guy. I forgot what his name was, but he was really, really nice. Very nice. We look at the dog. He got a bunch of dogs. Bunch of them. He had golden doodles. He had the retriever looking dogs. He had these other golden doodles, and he had a lot of dogs. So we were talking to him and stuff. He was letting us know the prices of the different dogs and stuff, and looking at them and whatnot. Oh, and the reason I had actually suggested to my wife, I was like, do you want to go check the dog out? Go see it? And she's like, oh yeah, sure. And the only reason that I did that was because this guy said that he was having a special on these dogs. That's the only reason. Because if y'all know me, if it's something that I don't want to do and don't care about, I'm not, 9 times out of 10, not going to suggest, hey, do you want to go do that? No. But only because I know Carter really wanted a dog. I know she really wanted a dog. And I was like, okay, let's just see. Let's just see. So went there, and we started talking to the guy. Carter, the first thing we do when we get there, we get out. Carter's like, Dad, can I have my mask? Because he smelled the dog poop, and Carter has a very, very sensitive nose. He smells everything. Everything. And he will let you know. Like I told y'all before, there was times when I'd be helping Carter with schoolwork or something. And if it's early in the morning and I didn't brush my teeth yet, Carter will gladly let me know. What he'll do, he'll hold his hand over his nose, and he'll just be looking. And I already know what's coming after that. Like if you're sensitive, oof, Carter will hurt your feelings bad. He'll hurt your feelings, man. If you're sensitive, because he don't hold back, which I appreciate about him. But he'll hold his nose and be like, Dad, I think you need to go brush your teeth. And see that, and that's the part that, boy, like I said, if you're sensitive, ooh boy. And that part, like I think, like, excuse me, I think you need to go brush. Like this is one big thing. If he said, go brush your teeth, he adds the I think just to make it hit that much more. So I think you need to go brush your teeth. He let you know. If he smells something, if he thinks that you stink, he will let you know. I think you need to go take a shower. So Carter is very straightforward, very blunt. And if you got feelings, he's not the person to be around. But I love that about him. But anyway, he did not like the smell of the dog poop. And one thing that we noticed, there was one dog. The dog looked kind of cute. And my wife was like, oh, is that one a boy or a girl? And the breeder was like, oh, that's a boy. She's like, oh, can we see that one? He told us how much it was, too. I'm like, okay, good price, so cool. So that was one of the ones that he had for the good price. So we were looking at him and stuff. It was a cool dog, but then my wife noticed. She was like, "Is that a lesion on his head?" Cause there was something. It was like a streak that almost looked like dry skin or bad skin on the top of his head. It's like, "Is that a lesion on the top of his head?" And the owner, I mean the breeder, he looked, or breeder owner, whatever, he looked. He was like, "Oh no, that's poop." I'm like, "Oh, okay, well there you go." And from that point on, I was like, "Hey, if we were to get this dog, the names that Carter had chosen before, like because we would talk to Carter and be like, Carter, what would you want to name a dog? He would always say Mookie or Pookie or Tanuki. Where he got Mookie and Pookie from, no clue. I do not know where he got those names from. That's why I say Carter got some hood in him there. But Tanuki, I know Tanuki that's from Mario. That would have been a nice name too. I like that name too. But I told them, I said, "Hey, if we were to get this dog, we would have to name it Pookie because he got poo. When we first saw him, he got poo on the top of his head." So anyway, but then the breeder was like, "Oh, if y'all get him, we'll wash that off. He looks like a brand new dog." I said, "Yeah, okay." But anyway, we're playing with him and stuff, and it was a cool dog. It was a nice dog. He was very, very calm, not super hyper. He was a little bit playful, but not super hyper, not anything over the top, none of that. He was pretty chill, and the dog, it looked like a nice dog. And I said, "Oh, what kind of dog is this?" The breeder was like, "Oh, it's a golden doodle." I said, "Huh?" And I asked him, I said, "Man," I said, is his hair always gonna be that straight? Because when I see golden doodles, I see this curly hair. And he was like, "Oh, if you actually look, you see some curls on there." And I looked, I didn't see any curls at all. But I was like, whatever. I don't really know that much about dogs, whatever. And I don't even really care that much either. So we played with him, trying to get Carter to play with him. Carter ain't playing with him. Trying to get Carter to pet him. Carter don't want to pet him. Trying to get Carter to just look at him. Carter don't want to look at him. Carter just was not feeling his dog. He was not feeling the dog. So Carter he just started getting upset. He was like, "Oh, can we go home?" I was like, "Carter, you want to take this dog home?" He said, "No." I said, "Carter, just look at him." I said, "Mommy likes the dog." I said, "Do you like it?" "No." "You want to take it home?" "No." Carter, at least just give him a chance. At least just like pet him or something. Just try. He said, "No, never, ever, ever." I said, "Man, sometimes Carter just remind me of Bumblebee from Transformers because he just be repeating all this stuff that he be hearing off of TV." But anyway, he just was not into the dog at all. I started making little jokes when sometimes when Carter get upset, I got to do this more often too, because sometimes when he get upset, I get upset at him for being upset over certain stuff. But this time when he was upset, I started joking around with him, trying to make him laugh, and he started laughing a little bit. I was like, "Carter, just try to pet him or something. Just try to hold him or something, pet him, rub his head or something like that." He said, "No, I don't want to." Okay, cool. So we were there for a little while, talking to the breeder and stuff. There were these other two dogs. I think they were mini golden doodles, dark brown, like sort of a reddish brown. They look really nice, really nice. They're so small though. And he told me how much they were, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's the end of that conversation." But they they were really nice looking dogs. So, but yeah, I was like, no, definitely wouldn't get those. So I told my wife, I said, "Hey, with the dog that we saw, the dog that we were playing with and stuff, I said, if you want to take it home, we can." And I was like, "Well, today could really be the day." And I was like, "Just whatever. If you want to take it home, we can. Cool." So I told Carter the same thing. Say, "If you want to take it home, Carter, we can." "I don't want to take it home." So he, I really don't even remember how he got out of his sort of funk. I think after a little while, because my wife, she picked him up. And I ain't picking up no Carter no more. He's too big, man. But she picked him up. She was holding him for a little bit. And I was like, "Carter, I said, you want to take the dog home?" He said, I think he said, "I don't know." He said, "Maybe." I forgot what he said. But then eventually, he was like, "Yeah." I said, "You want to take the dog home?" He said, "Yeah." So I told the breeder and stuff. I said, "All right, we'll get it." He filled out the paperwork, all that stuff. So then Carter and my wife, they were waiting in the car. So while they were waiting in the car, I'm like walking back and forth because it's like raining a little bit too. I'm walking back and forth, going to the car, checking on them, going back to the breeder, talking to him, and we just going back and forth. I'm walking back and forth between both parties. And Carter's like, hey, did we get the dog yet? And he's all excited now. I'm like, man, this dude. And my wife brought up a good point, which I was saying earlier, that if the dog that we had went to go see a month ago or a couple weeks ago, whenever it was, Ravioli, Carter was like playing with that dog like crazy, having so much fun. He loved that dog. But then when I asked him, I said, Carter, you want to take it home? He said, no. He said, I'd rather get a cute dog. But with this dog, who he wasn't playing with at all, said he wasn't feeling and all that, right when he said he's going to get the dog, and we're doing the paperwork and stuff, Carter's all excited for the dog to come. I'm like, man, this dude. So that's why I say we probably could have got Ravioli. We probably could have got that dog, and stuff would have been just fine. But no problem. It is what it is. Anyway, we get the dog, and that's it. We got it. We got it. That's Pookie. She gets in the car with us. A little nervous. But that's around the time when me and the dog really started having a little bond. Because first she was in the back seat. I mean, he was in the back seat. My fault. He was in the back seat with my wife and Carter. They're both sitting back there. So he was just a little timid. He was a little timid, a little nervous, and whatever. And you can understand, because I mean, this is his first time being around other people than who he was raised with. He was in a cage with his sister like his entire life. And it was only like 10 weeks old, I think, something like that. He was in a cage with his sister his entire life, and that's all he knew. So for him to be out here with us, who he didn't know, first day meeting us, and now you got to move in with us, it's like, whoa, that's a big shock. So we're riding, just riding out, headed home, and we stop at a rest stop. My wife, she had to use the bathroom real quick, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna let the dog out for a little bit. So let the dog out for a little bit, see if he had to pee, and he didn't pee. I'm like, okay, cool, I guess, all right, straight, ain't gotta pee, all right, let's get back on the road. Got back on the road, riding, and then he's trying to get to the front with me. So I'm like, okay, cool. So he comes to the front, like I'm petting him and stuff, riding. He's just sitting there, chilling, relaxing. Climbing in the seat a little bit, but just really mostly relaxing. Just taking it super easy, super chill. So after that, after we end up getting closer to the house, we went to a pet supermarket. We got some food. We got a couple toys. We got some treats, cause for the training and stuff. And it's like, oh yeah, this is a real deal now. We didn't buy a cage yet though. So we get back home, and it's like, hey, this is it. This dog is now gonna be here forever. Like, this is his home, his forever home. Get in there, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, and of course he does his he pees in the house. I think he pooped in the house that night too. So that was his introductory pee and poop to the crib. So it's all good though. So then, and we set up a little sleep area for him to sleep in. It was next to the bed, but he just kept wanting to jump on the bed. He's not big enough to jump on the bed yet, or the couch, but he will be very, very, very soon. Very, very soon. So then, the next part, the next day, very next day, my wife, she's looking at the dog. I'm in the office working, but I got the door open. And where she works at in the house is right next to my office. So I'm working. She's working, but she's looking at the dog. She's like, I don't know. And the dog was like really, really attached to me out of all three of us. And I figured this would happen because I knew that I would be the main one taking care of the dog. But anyway, my wife is looking at the dog, and she's like, I don't know. I think that dog might be a girl. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? Like, no, that's a boy, man. And she's looking, and she's like, no, I think that dog might be a girl. And I'm like, what do you mean? What are you talking about, man? And she's looking at it, and she's looking, and I start looking at it. Then she took a picture of it. She's comparing it. She sent it to her mom. She sent it to her sister. Her sister's husband. He said, "Oh no, he said that's a girl." I'm like, "Oh boy." Then her mom looks at it. Her mom said, "Oh, that's a girl." And then it got me to thinking. And I said, "Wait a minute." So I'm looking at it, and to two of my boys who both have dogs. One of them has a girl dog. My other boy, he got a girl dog. So I sent the picture to them, and both of them right away. As soon as I sent the picture, immediate reply, "That's a girl." So I'm like, man, this guy, the breeder, he told us that it was a boy. And I asked him specifically. He was like, "Are you guys looking for a boy or a girl?" And I said, "Boy." My wife, she said it didn't matter. I said, "Boy," because I said I don't want to deal with no periods from the dogs. And he was like, "Oh yeah, that's a boy." And I'm like, what this dude really like? And he was like, he wasn't the sharpest knife in the set. Like he just like, not that he wasn't dumb. He was just like, he's just like really goofy. You know those people who they're not dumb, they're just like goofy, man. They're just really goofy. Cause like I said, he was really nice, but he's just like goofy, man. But anyway, I texted him. I said, I think this dog is a girl. And he texted me back. He said, yeah. He said, yeah, it is. And I said, you told me that it was a boy. Oh no, I texted him. I'm gonna read it word for word. I texted him, I think this dog is a girl. He texted me back, yes, but that's what you picked. And then I texted him back. I said, you told us it was a boy, and the paperwork says boy as well. And then he replied to me. He said, one was a boy and the other's a girl. But if you want to change for a boy, it's okay. Or if you want to change for a boy, he'd spelled it wrong. But if you want to change for a boy, it's okay. And I'm like, wow, this dude. Now me, well, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't anything that I'm like, oh man, I'm so upset. It wasn't nothing like that. That is like, could be a little bad business now. Cause like I said, he told us it was a boy. He said boy. But I wasn't tripping about it or nothing. Cause I know you could just get them. You could just get them neutered or spayed or whatever it is. Man, you ain't got to worry about the period. So it's really nothing. Now had I been like adamant about, hey, it's a boy dog or it's no dog, I ain't messing around with nothing else. No, I don't want it. Had it been like that, would have been a much different story. But it wasn't anything to me. It wasn't like, oh man, since it's a girl dog, I don't want to know. Nah, I ain't even care. So anyway, what happened next? Oh, so it's like, okay, I guess we got a girl dog. So that changed everything. It's funny because that same morning, one of our friends was texting us. We texted one of our, I texted one of our friends. We got a group chat with them and told them, I said, hey, we finally did it. We finally got a dog. Sent him a picture and stuff. And then the wife, she was like, it's my boy and his wife. So she texted us back. She was like, oh, is that a girl? And I said, no, that's a boy. But this is before I found out that it was a girl. She texted us back. She was like, oh, is that a girl? Is her name Raven? And I was thinking, oh, okay, that is something right there. Because if I was somebody else, I probably would have thought maybe the same thing. Oh, we might not name the dog Raven. But no. So yeah, and it ended up being that she was right, and everybody else. And then another thing too, the guy told us, hey, what kind of dog is this? Oh, it's a golden doodle. Okay, cool. I sent a picture of the dog to my mom. I hadn't told her what kind of dog it was, nothing. She was like, well, is that a retriever? I said, no, it's a golden doodle. And I took it to the pet store. When I took it to the pet store, the guy at the pet store, he was like, what is that, a golden retriever? I said, no, it's a golden doodle. And like, so these people, when they first see this dog, they like golden retriever. When I first saw the dog, I ain't see no golden doodle. But the guy said, hey, it's a golden doodle. So then my wife asked for a picture of the parents. The dad is a golden doodle. The mom is a retriever. So it's mostly retriever in that dog. When you see that dog, you see retriever. But anyway, like I said, I didn't care that much. I'm not one of them people, and not that there's anything wrong with them, because people want what they want. They want what they want, and they pay for what they want. So if they pay for something and they don't get what they want, then that can be a problem. And people have every single right for it to be a problem if they didn't pay for what they expected to get. But for me, it wasn't a big deal. Got a dog for a good deal, good price, and again, all the other stuff, all the little quote-unquote hiccups along the way wasn't a big issue for me. So, did that, and I was like, okay, so I guess we got a girl. So that was that. But again, this whole thing, remember, it was not supposed to happen. We were supposed to be up in Georgia. We ain't even supposed to have no dog right now, because we were supposed to be in Georgia. But again, Carter got sick. Plans changed, or plans got canceled, and then new plans arrived. New plans arrived, whatever. Can't think of the word, but new plans showed up, and that was that. So now we ended up with a dog. So maybe we should have went to Georgia. But no, she's great, man. I love her. She's doing really, really good with her just training, with the potty training. We've had her since Sunday afternoon. Today is Thursday, and she has really come a long way as far as potty training. Excuse me. And one of the things that people told us to make sure we did was be consistent. When it comes to her training, be consistent, have a routine. And we've been doing that, and it's something, man. It gets frustrating a little bit when she pees or would poop in the house. She hasn't pooped in the house for a couple of days, though. She's peed in the house a little bit, but she hasn't pooped in the house in a couple of days, so that's good. And again, we've only had her 4 days, so she's doing a really, really good job. Yeah, Carter loves her. Carter be playing around with her. We just gotta teach him and show him better way to be a little more careful. I gotta watch her, because if she sees me and I'm walking around, she will be right behind me, right to the side of, no, right behind me, not even right to the side, right behind me. Today, I went to the refrigerator, did not know she was there. Didn't know. I thought she was still somewhere else. I stepped back from the refrigerator and stepped on her foot. And then you hear all that, and she's like, man, what you think, you in a movie or something? You one of them acting dogs? She's sitting there holding her foot up. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And I was a little worried at first. I was like, oh, I hope I ain't break this thing, because there's a lot of weight coming down on that little dog. But then after about like 5 minutes, she stopped. I laid her down a little bit, petted her. I played with both her arms just to make it like it was regular, and she was fine. She was running around back on her arms again, and it was like it never even happened. And I was like, oh, thank goodness, because boy, I'm not trying to have to go through that. And, oh, but yeah, she's good. Carter, for his second to last day of school, he showed off for show and tell. Oh no, his third to last day. Whatever it was, on Monday he showed off for show and tell, and the teacher was like, oh, you finally got it, because he'd been talking about this in the school for the longest. And yeah, he's very happy. My wife's very happy. I'm very happy too. She did pee in the office once, and I never let her be in here for a long period of time ever again after that. But no, it's a good dog. It's a good dog. But it was just a crazy process, as you can tell, for how this dog came about being a part of the family. And again, it wasn't even supposed to happen. Now, my wife's manager, it's funny, because my wife's manager, when she would be talking to her, my wife would be talking to her manager about us getting a dog, she'd say, oh, Carter only wants this type of dog. Carter wanted a Shih Tzu. And he wanted a small dog. He wanted a little small dog. And my wife's manager, she was like, no, she was like, don't do that. Get a dog for you, because Carter, he's gonna like the dog regardless. He's gonna like the dog regardless, since it'll be a dog. And I was thinking, well, yeah, that actually does make sense. And that's exactly what ended up happening. Carter, again, he wasn't really feeling the dog. He didn't want to play with it or nothing when we were there at the breeder's place. And then before we even left, when it was official that we were going to get the dog, he's all excited for the dog to even just get in the car. And he always be checking on her. He be playing with her and stuff. He loves that dog, man. So it's cool. So that is the story of Pookie and how we got to this point. So appreciate y'all. I love y'all, team. Keep it clean. This was a quite an episode, man. But yeah, I appreciate being able to share what an eventful weekend it was last weekend. And man, I feel like I'm probably forgetting something too. But we just had a lot of fun. It was just, it was a lot, but it was a lot of fun. So love y'all. I appreciate y'all listening. Thank you for supporting, and I see you all in the next episode. We're going.